Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Dear Tober podcast. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kas. This is Tober in his Valentine's gear. And we have a special guest this week.
Are we doing a drum roll?
My mother, Nana.
This is Nana. She's going to talk to us today about her side of everything.
Yeah, so we have our first grandparents episode today.
Yes.
And we are filming the weekend of Valentine's Day. That's why Tober has his little Valentine's headband. And then back here he has a little Valentine's teddy. And since we're filming with my mom this week, we are at her house. And we have all kinds of Tober-related items that belong to her.
Yeah, these kind of come from her shrine.
Yes. So we've posted her shrine before. So this is a book that my mom writes letters and stories and poems and stuff for Tober. There's also pictures in there of things we've done in honor of him. We have a fox stuffy for obvious reasons. There's another fox stuffy back here. We have 2 pictures of my mom with Tober. And then we have a fox children's storybook.
So these are all little things that you bought for him since, or?
Yes, pretty much since.
Yeah.
Yes. I see foxes everywhere, as does everyone else. So I almost feel like when I see a fox item, I have to purchase it. So the shrine is getting bigger.
Growing.
Yeah.
He's about to have his own bedroom soon.
Well, I might have to go seasonal.
Yeah, with some of the items.
Bring out the Christmas things at Christmas, the Easter things at Easter. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
Alrighty then. Well, are we ready?
I think so.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Let's get into it then.
All right.
So tell me about how you found out Cassandra was pregnant.
Actually, Silas was the one that divulged that Mommy had a baby in her tummy. So, that was surprising, unexpected. I think it took me a couple of days to actually let it sink in that she was expecting again.
She says a couple days, but
It took a long time.
Yeah. Well, to sink in and then much longer to, I guess, be more accepting because of the situation that we were in. Cassandra had moved back in with Silas. My husband and I had just started getting used to being empty nesters, and we had kind of changed things around in our house to kind of reflect that we were empty nesters. So we had to make room for Cassandra and Silas, which we were all in, obviously. But yeah, it was another adjustment. So, getting a bedroom ready for a 2-year-old and getting Cassandra's room ready for her. So there was a lot of purging going on in our house because, of course, those 2 bedrooms had been changed to be guest rooms. So, we had to take out furniture and purge our storage area in our laundry room so we can bring in some of her own items from her place so she wouldn't have to find a storage facility to put her stuff in. So it was a lot of change very suddenly, which caused a little bit of stress at the time. And I guess after them being here for a while, it was stressful. Like, we were always very close, but I think that whole situation with moving back with a little one, and like I said, of course we would do it, but it did change our lives. So I felt like our relationship wasn't in the best place at the time. And then having that little, I don't know what
Surprise.
to call it, surprise, kind of just added to the anxiety of what we were feeling already at the time. So yeah, that was very unexpected news. Normally you're super happy. So it took me a while to get used to knowing there was another little person coming to join our family.
Yeah, because I think we were kind of in the same boat where it wasn't happiness that was the first feeling.
No, it was shock. And then it was, oh my God, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Because I felt like we were all in it together. And knowing myself, like I always try to imagine the worst thing that could possibly happen with every situation and try to be prepared for it. And I've kind of learned since then to don't, because the one thing you haven't thought of is the one that actually comes to be. So yeah, it was a shock.
When you found out, though, I was already in the works of figuring out how to move out because I already had known for a while that I was pregnant. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then also, like, from a mother's perspective, it's like, okay, they've been here for a bit. Now she's moving out on her own, and you worry. Like, you want your child to move out on their own and have their own space and do their own thing. I would have worried about you regardless, but then you throw in, there's a baby growing in her belly, and she's moving out with a then 3-year-old, almost 4. And so your worry increases exponentially because now there's another little human coming.
It's another
So-
human. It's another bill. It's another.
Exactly.
expense.
And at
Yeah.
the time, we've been pretty open about it. Cass wasn't working when she was.
No, I got laid off not long after I found out I was pregnant. So I was searching pretty hard for a new job. I mean, you saw I was doing interviews in person. I was setting up to do interviews on Zoom. But the longer I was looking for a job, the more I was showing, the more people were noticing, and the less likely they were to hire me because who's going to hire someone who's going on mat leave in a few months just to have to replace them again? So,
Yeah. And I remember there was one interview that you had done, even that you were interviewing for somebody who was already on mat leave.
yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to take over for them for a few months, and then I'm going to go on mat leave. Then what?
Yeah.
I think had I not been laid off, obviously I'd be in a better position because I had a full-time job with benefits.
And it was a good job.
And it was a good job. I was getting paid decent. I would have been able to do things on my own. It was,
dare I say, a grown-up job.
yeah. Yeah. It was really what threw a wrench in the plans.
Yeah. I mean, not that Tober was planned.
No, but like the plan to be able to move out and be financially stable on my own and support a almost 4-year-old and like a newborn would have been a lot easier had I not been laid off.
Yeah. So you had extra concerns.
Absolutely. And I'm a pretty hands-on nana, I think. So I knew I'd be like right in there. But in that moment, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be honest, take more time because I will be in there helping. And you weren't moving nearby either.
No.
So I thought, wow, how is this all going to work? Like the anxiety just went through the roof. I mean, knowing she was moving out was also giving me a bit of a reprieve because, like I said, it got to be pretty tense for many reasons. So it was a bit of a reprieve, but then it's like, okay, now they're gonna be on their own. Nana won't be down the hall.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a different worry, but a worry nonetheless.
I think a good next question, because obviously you have worries about the situation itself and me moving and all that. But then I guess there's also your opinions on Tober's dad and that whole aspect.
Oh, yes.
Because you had already met him a good handful of times by then.
I had met him a few times, but I feel like it wasn't really a meeting. I remember one day I was working from home and I knew he was upstairs
He was watching Silas.
with Silas.
Yeah.
You had gone to a doctor's office appointment, I believe. And he was just kind of sitting there. So I'd go up, I would take little breaks and sit with him. And I remember trying to engage him in conversation, and he barely made eye contact. And I feel like every time we'd meet, it was the same thing. And I almost felt like I was prying a conversation out of him. And then I thought, okay, good excuse that I have to go back downstairs to my desk and get some work done, because it was almost excruciating trying to make conversation. And Silas seemed to be fine with him. And to me, that's the first question is, does Silas get along with him? Does he feel comfortable being in his company? But it was almost like I didn't know what to think about this young man, because I really wasn't getting to know him.
I mean, obviously I have my opinions on him, but I will say he was good with Silas.
Yeah, that's not really something that we can criticize him for.
No, he was good with him. He very much loved kids. He very much wanted to be a dad and was excited to be a dad. So I don't think that was the problem. I think the problem was more so like personal issues he was having, and then whether that would like deter him from being a good dad. Because just because you're excited to be a dad doesn't mean you're going to be a good one.
That's true.
No, there's a lot of people who, it's the same thing as like, yeah, anybody can have a kid.
Yeah,
But just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
And even if you love children, it doesn't mean you're going to love having a child with you 24/7.
Well, yeah,
because
loving
they're your
kids
baby.
is different than like having one to look after all the time and rely on you. Like, it's different when you're like an aunt taking care of your niece or nephew for a couple hours versus having your own kid and having to like
Raise
them. Yeah. So there's a difference.
Yeah. So then how did you prepare for welcoming a new baby?
Oh, that's going to get me.
That's okay. We have tissues.
Under normal circumstances, I would be running out to buy toys and outfits and books, because I love books. In this case, I did none of that at the beginning. Cassandra mentioned I have this scrapbook. I have one for each nephew, and for my niece, I would write in these books before they were even born. For Tober, I didn't even have a book until right before. I'm not sure why I didn't run out to do that. It could be to do with the fact that he was such a surprise, and by the time Cassandra moved out, I feel like our relationship was not in the best place.
No, I think when I moved out, I pretty much did everything at my new place by myself, and then we didn't talk often.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I remember the day that we moved you out of here,
Mm-hmm.
your mom and I were kind of giving each other looks like, it's okay, she'll be fine.
Mhm.
Because your mom was worried, but there was also a lot of relief in you leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Concern, but relief.
Yeah. So I think that may have played a part in the fact that I wasn't as excited about another baby coming. And then I realized one day, I'm like, wow, this baby's going to grow up thinking his nana doesn't love him.
Which is obviously like completely different than your relationship with Silas, because I mean that was also just under different circumstances when he was born.
Mm.
But I don't think it was like that. Like you didn't love him. I think it was just, different circumstances. You found out in a different way. He was being born into different circumstances. He wasn't planned the way Silas was. You weren't as involved with the pregnancy. So,
Yeah. A lot of factors. As your belly started growing, a lot, because, I mean, he was 10 pounds, so I made a point of trying to spend more time with you. When I'd see you, I'd hug you more. I'd talk to your belly, because I wanted him to know he was loved and wanted, regardless of the circumstances of how he came to be. So as we got closer to his due date, I did buy a few outfits and some toys and books, and I found the scrapbook. But, like I said before, I always write in the books months before the child is born. But I did not write to Tober. I feel like, I don't know if deep down I knew something was going to happen. And I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes the guilt is a little overwhelming. Not having put more effort into writing to him, preparing for him, helping Cassandra more. And I've spoken to friends about it. And one of my friends said to me one day, is I think if I had done more things, then he'd still be here with us. And she's like, Fernie, you're not that powerful. You really don't have that power, Fernie. So
No,
you can't
because,
blame
like,
yourself.
I was still doing all the things, right? Like, it's not like there was a lack of doing things. He still had a, like, fully prepared nursery. He had everything he needed. He had a home. Silas was prepared. I had a birth plan. Like, you know, it wasn't your, like, not doing more things didn't mean...
It's also a lot of pressure to put on yourself as a grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you were on it. I mean, you had everything ready. Just for me, sometimes I get into my own head and I think maybe he felt that he wasn't wanted enough and decided, you know what, guys, I'm out of here. And yeah, my friend's right. I don't have the power to make things like that happen. But when I look back, I think, oh, I could have done things differently. What if I had supported her more? And then I realized I could not have supported her more than I did during that period of time and even leading up to that. But it still gets to you. Just because I didn't act the way I would have acted or acted with all the other babies that came into our family. And so writing Tim in his book after he passed, that's just wrong to me. But
here we are.
that's what I do now.
But yeah, like I write poems, I write letters. Haley's written a poem. You've
Beautiful
found
poem.
A poem. We've done lots of things to honor him in his memory. So I don't think it's like wrong to
No.
write to him now.
Oh no, I don't think it's wrong to write to him now. I just thought it was wrong not having written to him before.
Yeah.
Like I did for all the other babies.
But at that time, it's important to remember, like, you didn't have the bandwidth for that.
Mm-hmm.
You had a whole lot of other stuff going on inside of your head that I don't think writing to Tober at that point was the first thing on your mind.
No. I feel like at that point I was actually in self-preservation mode.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of just went numb. At one point I just went numb. And my sister-in-law actually told me one day, she goes, "You're in self-preservation mode. That's what it's actually termed." And I didn't realize it at the time. Because there was so much going on, I felt like I was just being stretched too thin. And I think at that point I had put up some walls and was literally in self-preservation mode and didn't have the capacity to do much more than just trying to hang on
Mm-hmm.
for my own sanity. But it doesn't make the guilt any less looking back. And I don't think it'll ever go away completely, but I'm trying to manage it.
I think the next thing that maybe we should talk about is, because now we've talked about how you've kind of prepared, but there was something that happened that I don't think anybody could have prepared for. And that was Cass's bus accident.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And during that time, you came and you took care of her. We have tons of memories of that
Oh, my
time.
God. Yeah. Some funny, really funny stories.
So I
Looking
guess
back.
we should start with, because I don't think we've necessarily really spoken on the bus accident much. We've kind of mentioned
We
it.
glazed over it.
And
Yeah.
that was 2 weeks before you were due for the C-section.
A month, right?
It was
Or-
beginning of October, and originally my C-section date was going to be October 30th. So it was about 3 weeks. So Silas and I were actually headed to do a maternity shoot, just the two of us. And we hadn't even left our town yet when we got in the accident. So they asked if I needed an ambulance. I said, no shit. I fell twice. You can see me not being able to walk. So they called an ambulance.
And you fell on your belly.
Twice, yeah. The ambulance took us to the hospital. Silas's dad was following behind the ambulance because he had just dropped Silas off to me. So we weren't very far in our bus route. So he was able to drive back and meet up with the ambulance. Yeah, and then we got to the hospital. I think I called you. And I was like, yeah, you should probably come because I can't walk.
We were just leaving my friend's cottage. We were there for a girly weekend, as we do every couple months. Literally pulling out of her laneway when we got the call. So I remember getting off that call and my friend saying, "You did so good. You kept your shit together until you hung up."
When the bus
Am I allowed to
accident
say
happened?
shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had spoken to you and you're telling me what happened, and I'm like on the inside losing my mind, but I'm like, I need to stay calm for her because she cannot feel my stress. It'll just add to her stress. So I told her, everything's going to be okay. You're in the right place. You're at the hospital. They'll take care of you. And I'm on the way. And as soon as I hung up, I just lost it. Yeah, so thank goodness I wasn't driving home. But by the time I got home and had a quick shower and packed a bag, I knew that you were home or on the way home.
We were already
so
back at.
Sarah came
Yeah.
to the hospital.
And I think you, Sarah, told me she can't walk. And I don't know that I understood exactly what that meant.
I don't think anyone really believed me at first, to be honest, because they were like,
I mean, I did. I had to take your pants off.
I mean, you did, because you saw, like, I couldn't take them off. Like, if I'm laying in bed, it's not that hard to take your pants off, even when you are pregnant.
When you have a watermelon strapped to your stomach, yeah.
It can be, but I literally could not do it. And then whenever I would tell someone else, I think they were kind of like, haha, that's funny. And it's like, no, really.
And that's
I
because you
cannot walk.
pulled all the muscles in your lower back
And stomach.
trying to stand up with a massive 8-month pregnant belly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I really understood what that meant.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, unpack the bag and pack for a few more days because who
You're, like,
knows?
not too sure what's going on.
So when I did get to your house and I walked in and you were both sitting on the couch, and then I realized she literally cannot walk.
Yeah.
So this was Sunday?
I think it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
It was the weekend.
It was a Sunday because we were coming back from my friends.
I'm pretty sure it was a Sunday that we had booked.
Yeah. So I texted my boss right away. I'm like, I need the next 3 days off, if not the full week, because this has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so right away, she's like, well, you just keep me posted, but you take the time you need. But I honestly did not realize that I would be literally shuffling my daughters. How much did you weigh at the moment? 150 pounds?
I had gained 60 pounds in that pregnancy.
Yeah.
But you were a stick before, so.
She was a stick, and now she was like, she weighed more than I did. And I basically had to drag her body to the bathroom
at
every time
first,
she needed to go.
The two of you were like carrying me, so I had one
Oh,
arm
yeah.
over her,
That's
one
right.
arm over her, and then you guys would kind of lift, take a few steps, put me down, lift, take a few steps.
Oh, yeah.
And
And it doesn't help that I'm 5 feet nothing. You're taller than me.
Sarah's not that tall
I'm
either.
5'3".
Yeah,
But
that's
so
still pretty short.
Yeah.
we honestly should have made like a comic strip out of this whole thing because
Imagine if we had a podcast back then. We've always said that
We
our,
should have started like a TikTok and done like TikTok trends. And
Oh.
whatever.
our lives have always been like so chaotic together.
Yeah.
That we've said like we need cameras hidden everywhere just to catch all of our stupidity.
catch those moments.
Yeah. Last night would have been a great one.
Oh,
to catch.
just a while ago would have been great.
Yeah. Almost got my wrist crushed today trying to set up the podcast.
Preparing. I was laughing so hard, even if I could lift the couch, which I can clearly because her hand managed to get under it. I could not
We could
lift
be
it back
filming-
up because I was laughing.
We
too
could be filming this episode from a hospital right now while I get a cast.
What happened? I broke my daughter's wrist. I dropped a couch on her.
Oh my god, that would have been 2 wrists in 2 weeks for me.
At least you wouldn't have been the one breaking my wrist. You would have just been witness.
Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah, to bring things back
yes.
to the bus accident and all of that, yeah, you ended up staying with me, and
I stayed with you for a week. So yes, at first it was Sarah and I literally hauling you off the couch in the first place. We have since gotten rid of that off the couch, so
Yeah.
there's that. And basically shuffling you to the bathroom.
but
and-
you pretty much had to do everything for me.
Yeah.
To step in my shower, it's only a few inches off the ground. but that was like a whole ordeal to get in the shower and then have to help me shower
Yep.
because I couldn't bend, I couldn't turn or anything.
Yeah.
And then there was also sleeping at night.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't roll over on my own. And, you know, when you're that pregnant,
You're
you
rolling
need to be
over.
in general is just
it's
Yeah.
hard in general, but like you need to be constantly adjusting yourself to be comfortable. And so like every hour I'd be laying there wide awake needing to roll over, and I didn't want to wake her up and like ruin her sleep, but like I also needed someone to roll me. So she, like, in the darkness of the night would be like, do you need me to roll you over? And,
She would think I was sleeping, but it's like, she needs a roll.
yeah. And then I'd be like, yes, please.
So I don't know how I managed at your place because you have a bunk bed.
Yeah, so Silas and I have a bunk bed where he has like a twin on top and I have a double on the bottom
So trying to roll her over with her massive belly
in a bunk bed.
and doing it, you know, gracefully without knocking myself out, hitting my head in the bed above us was quite the gymnastics feat, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I grew some muscles that week.
Honestly, yeah, because then I also had some like pregnancy appointments to go to.
Oh,
And so,
shall we talk about the wheelchair in the parking
I
lot?
mean, first of all, getting in and out of the car was not a good time.
We left super early for that appointment and we ended up being late.
Yeah, so, you know, one thing getting in the car, then getting out. We also had to figure out parking because, I mean, normally I would bus. I didn't know anything about, like, the parking situation. And then, yeah, we were in the parking garage and we realized
Well, first of all, we found a spot.
yeah,
And that's after I thought I scraped the entire side of the car
yeah.
going down the round. Turns out it was just the tire scraping
Yeah.
against the sidewalk.
We managed
that was
to
fine.
find a spot not far away from the elevator, and then the car was fine. And then we realized after walking not very far through the parking garage that we were going to be so freaking late because at this point, I'm still not really walking. So my mom had the brilliant idea to go get a wheelchair, and I'm like, yeah, great. It's a hospital. They're going to have them everywhere. But when she left to go get the wheelchair, she left me clinging on to
A trash
a parking garage trash can.
not just a park. Clinging to dear life.
Yeah, clinging on to that can because, first of all,
She also couldn't stand for long.
yeah, I
periods
can't
of
stand
time.
for long. And if I fall over, I'm hitting pavement. There's no seats around here. There's no benches. So it's just me standing there hanging onto the garbage can. And there's people walking by staring at me. So I'm like 9 months pregnant holding onto a garbage can and I'm alone.
This is making me sound like a horrible mother. But in the moment, like you just said,
Yeah.
you're at a hospital facility. You expect there to be wheelchairs everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, guess where the wheelchairs were?
Not everywhere.
Across the street, across the road from the parking garage.
Yeah.
All in one bunch. They're not just floating sporadically around. So, not knowing this, I took the elevator up all the floors of the parking, thinking if I just poke my head out at each floor, there would be.
There might be.
Oh,
one.
no.
Yeah.
So finally, someone told me you have to go across the road into the front lobby.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, follow me. I said, bless you. My daughter's
But at
waiting
one
for
point,
me.
the elevator door opened on the floor of the parking garage that I was waiting on. So all she yells out of the elevator is, I'm coming!
I'm coming!
And so I'm just standing there and people are walking by me and they're like staring at me. I'm like, hi.
Cassandra's thinking, that's my mom.
Yeah. She's coming. It's fine. I'm cool.
And all she hears is this wheelchair. Clunk, 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 clunk.
Yeah, so I could hear like someone running down the parking garage and the rattle of the wheelchair. And then you being like, I'm coming. And then she rolls up and guess what? The fucking wheelchair's broken.
one of the wheels wasn't functioning.
And then there wasn't even 2 like footrests. One of them was completely gone. So while I'm sitting in this wheelchair, I've got both feet over here on my 1 footrest. While super pregnant, so like uncomfortable. To have both my legs somehow across over here on the 1 foot stirrup.
So I had to wheel her back across the road into the hospital
You must have
building.
been exhausted by the end of this.
So by the time we get up to whatever floor,
The appointment was, yeah.
we were late. And I'm sweating. I don't know how you were feeling, to be honest. You're probably like, what a wreck.
Honestly,
my mother is right
I was so tired by that point. I was like, we have to be here for another like 3 hours for these appointments. I'm done.
Yeah, stressing out. We're late. Nurse just waltzes over. Oh, hi, we'll be right with you. And I'm looking at Cassandra thinking, really?
Yeah.
After all that?
And then it kind of
It's
just,
not a big deal at all.
it made its way around the nurse's station because I was in a wheelchair. Because at one point I think we wheeled into the room and one of the doctors came in and it was a small room, so it was hard to like close the door while I was still in the wheelchair. And they're like, can you not just like get up and move to the seat over there so we can get rid of the wheelchair? And I'm like, no, because I cannot fucking move.
And that's when you're like, well, I was in a bus accident. And one of them actually, oh my God.
Yeah.
And you're here? What happened?
Like, well,
are you okay?
I still need to come to my appointments.
They weren't sure if the bus had hit you.
Yeah, so then my actual, like, doctor had come in, and she's like, so I heard you got hit by a bus? And I was like, no, if I got hit by a bus, I definitely wouldn't be here. I was in a bus accident.
Oh,
I
my
was in the
goodness.
bus.
Oh my god.
That was a wild day, and we ended up leaving with a cane.
Oh, well, I had a trip to New York planned that
Oh, shit, I forgot
coming
about your trip to
weekend
New
that
York.
I had planned
Oh.
with my middle sister and my niece. And I thought, after this week, I need a break. But I mean, you had steady progress,
Mhm.
and
It was slow, but it was
Yeah,
progress.
and we had a backup. Someone else, I think, may have been able to step in if you still needed.
oh, I
me
don't
by the
remember now.
next
It
Monday.
was kind of a blur.
Anyways, slow progress, and I thought, hey, if I found her a cane, but the canes that have the 4 or the 3 prong, not just the one.
Yeah.
And I thought, we're going to a doctor's appointment at a hospital.
We'll find a cane.
They always have those little, they have,
Shops.
Timmy's boutique gift shop. And this hospital had a little shop that had all kinds of medical equipment, including canes with 3 to 4 prong legs. And I thought, genius. So at least having that many prongs at the bottom would give you some stability as opposed to just a regular cane. And it would also give you a little bit more freedom to
Move around.
do a few things for yourself.
I actually,
So we brought one home with us.
the way that I needed like support walking was kind of on both legs. So when we got the cane, it felt awkward for a while, like using it on the one side but not having anything on this side to grip onto to like support myself when I walk. So I started using
I remember.
I would hold the cane in front of me, and because it was on the 4 legs, I would like put it ahead of me and lean it so that I could put all my weight onto it to take a step, but I'd hold onto it with both hands, and then I'd like take a step, and I looked so stupid.
You know what?
but it worked.
We should have gotten those little
Crutches.
walkers
I should
that
have gotten
actually
a
have a
walker.
seat.
Yeah, so I could just roll. I could have just rolled myself around. I didn't even need to
No.
stand and walk. I could just
Well,
roll.
No, in this one you'd still have to shuffle your feet.
Yeah, but I
But
wouldn't
you
be
could take a few
standing.
steps and then sit and rest for a bit.
Yeah, and just roll myself. I could have just
Did
sat
they
on.
have those there? I feel like
Probably.
if they had one, we would have been like, that's what we need.
But the walking was good for me
Mm-hmm.
to like loosen up the
Yeah.
strained muscles and be able to like.
Well, I feel like that coming weekend after your bus accident weekend was Thanksgiving
Yeah.
because I dropped you off
Yeah.
at your aunt's
Yeah.
where your dad was and all your other aunts and uncles for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving dinner. And even some of them didn't realize.
I hadn't really told anyone.
Yeah, because you showed up with
Because-
your little cane and they're like, ah.
They thought it was because I was really fat and pregnant, and then I was like, no.
this
isn't-
is what actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I hadn't shared it online. I hadn't really told anyone what happened, to be honest. Because the girls had their birthday party. And even
Yeah.
some of our friends thought it was because I was pregnant. And I was like, no. I remember Haley being like, what? Like, why didn't you say anything? And I was like, I don't know. I've had so much going on that I just like,
You've been like, I'm just riding the hot mess express.
We were
Like,
just
I just
surviving.
live
Yeah.
here.
I'm raw dogging life.
We're surviving. We're just doing the roll every couple of hours.
We're
good.
surviving, not thriving. And I just could not. I didn't have the capacity to like share any
Yeah.
more tea with anybody.
You didn't have the bandwidth.
No, I did not have the bandwidth
And
to
was
share anything.
Silas with us that week?
No.
No.
So his dad had him, thank God, because by the time
I mean, I was there full time, not working with you. So,
yeah,
or not working. I was there full time with you. So
yeah.
I would have just done what needed to be done.
I mean,
but
you did at one point because one of the weeks I did have Silas, but I was still in rough shape.
That
So
was
you
after.
brought him to the bus.
Yeah,
You
you had
picked him
come
up.
with all of your equipment for work.
Yeah.
that was
you had, like-
after Tober passed.
No.
It was after the bus accident.
Yeah. You were bringing Silas to the bus stop because I
Yeah.
physically couldn't.
Really?
Yeah,
Still?
you were asking Vienna every morning. You were like, so
What's on the menu
what's
today?
on the menu today?
Which
Yeah.
was really, I meant, what are your classes today? But she knew what I meant.
Yeah.
What's on the menu? Well, and she'd pull out her schedule and read off the menu.
Yeah.
That was
and
cute.
then
Okay. See, a lot of that time was kind of a blur.
Yeah. But it took me a while to like be able to go back to like living alone, to be able to like do things on my own and everything, especially with Silas. So
I think I remember now because the trip to New York was just for the weekend.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
It's
you
just
came
for
right
the long
back.
weekend, and I came right back. So
Yeah.
yes, it's coming back to me now.
Yes, by the time I went in for the C-section, I still was walking with a cane, and I still was struggling to do a lot of things. Like I was really kind of just getting back into it.
Yeah.
So that was partly why I think Haley had wanted to meet me and give me a ride, because like I'm busing 3 hours with a cane and my hospital bags and my 9-month pregnant belly. Like,
Also, looking back at it, it's like, did you really need to bring your bags, or could we not have just put them in my car?
I don't even remember, because I remember walking into the hospital.
You had everything, but I'm like, why didn't we think about just
Yeah.
putting them in my car?
I don't know if maybe it was because a lot of the bags had my stuff mixed with Tober's things.
Well, maybe.
And so I was like, I don't know what I'm going to need. What if I end up going in like before you can even get there? Like, I just wanted to make sure I physically had the stuff I would need. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it worked out. I got a ride. And then,
So I think it's safe to say that during Cass's, let's call it rehabilitation process from that bus accident, a lot of the issues that you guys were having, like, they weren't necessarily fixed, but it was definitely something that kind of brought you guys at least partially back to where you were.
Well, yeah, I mean,
well, it definitely got us closer.
There was
because
no-
Got you guys
she-
talking.
there was no doubt that I, like, right away, I'm like, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Like, when stuff like that happens to me, it's like, when it's your family, you just drop everything.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter that that our relationship wasn't in the best place, but you're my daughter. Like, there was no question
Mm-hmm.
that I would be there. And I think it was a way of letting you know no matter what the situation, I love you and I'm here.
Yeah.
So I think that helped to show that.
Yeah.
That it's not that I would never just drop you. We were just going through a rough patch. But yes, this definitely, like, you don't not mend a part of the relationship when you're sleeping in the same bed, rolling you over for 2 hours
And pretty much wiping her coochie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
lowering
I
me onto the
mean-
toilet and like helping me in the shower.
everything. There was no,
There's
mean,
no boundary.
if you're not all in, that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
So-
I'm having like a flashback of, remember when you were in the hospital and the doctor was like,
Oh.
she needs her pants taken off, and you were like, Sarah?
I'm like, I need help, bro.
So
I can't take my pants off.
I'm there standing at the end of the bed, and you had these stretchy ass leggings on. And I'm like,
Trying to pull
hold
them
them
up.
over my head, and the doctor is on the other side of a curtain, and I'm like, 1 minute.
He was like waiting.
Just don't let go. It'll be like an elastic.
He was trying to give us privacy so that you could take my pants off and cover me like properly with the blanket. But we were laughing so hard because it was so ridiculous, and the doctor's like,
What are
"Are
those
you
two
ready?"
doing back there?
Like,
Yeah.
And wasn't there a comment where you're like,
oh
well,
yes, you told the nurses at the station you were the baby daddy.
Yes.
They're like, because you were asking which room I was in, and they were
Yeah.
like, okay, well, like,
are you family?
are you family?
And I was like, yeah, I'm the baby's dad. And you were like, what?
and then you just waited, and you were like, so are you gonna show me to the room?
But like at the same time, what
I
did
wish
you?
that was caught on video.
But like at the same time, what did you want them to say? Like, how many couples are like
Well,
gay?
And what were they going to
lesbian?
do? Question you?
There's so many different types of couples these
Right?
days.
That would be discrimination if
That-
they had.
Right?
even if they thought you were joking, like they couldn't actually say anything.
I
about
wasn't
it.
gonna sit there and say like, yeah, well, actually, I'm her first child's
father's
father's first cousin. And then we also have an aunt that's like related on both sides, but like we're not blood related, but like,
But I'm still the baby daddy.
yeah.
and the cousin and the best friend and the neighbor
Yeah.
and the birthing partner.
Yeah. It was too many titles.
For the longest time when I was explaining to people who you were, I was like, so she's my best friend, but she's also going to be my birthing partner / co-parent, which is great because she's also my neighbor. And she's also my son's aunt, but actually his
First
cousin. Yeah.
Second cousin. No, first cousin once removed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And people would look at me and be like, you could have just said friend.
And then they wonder why Silas is so special.
It sounds crazy, but it's not. No, it's crazy.
And it's
Yeah.
all
And I'm like looking at you like,
but
girl,
it's all
great.
legit, too.
It
Like,
is.
Yeah,
You're
no.
not making this up. It's reality.
Just two
Yeah.
little freaks.
Yeah.
Raw dog in life.
We've like said it before, but it's like our lives are so oddly intertwined that we didn't have a choice but to become best friends. Like,
We really didn't.
no.
On a more serious note, I think we have discussed this before, just obviously not on camera. Do you think that the bus accident had anything to do with Tober being stillborn?
I have thought so many things since Tober's passing. That was one of them. Like, what if the accident did hurt him in some way, and that ultrasound that we finally made it to in that rickety wheelchair just didn't show it?
It was not that ultrasound, but a couple after that one that I found out that the blood flow from the umbilical cord to him wasn't as strong as it should be,
Yeah.
and that the placenta was beginning to deteriorate, and that's why they wanted to move up the C-section. But when Tober's dad was still involved, I had found out that he had an issue with his heart. It was something to do with like one of the tubes in the heart was growing more to the left than in the center, which is where it normally grows, but normally that like fixes itself.
Corrects itself.
Yeah.
And ultrasounds after that.
He seemed
detect.
he was still doing okay. His heartbeat was always strong, always lots of movement. The fluid was fine. Yeah, it was just at the end when they noticed the umbilical cord, the placenta, and then also something about the fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough or too much or something.
Wasn't it your placenta? It was like just not giving enough anymore.
Yeah, it was starting to deteriorate.
That was similar to what happened when you were born on your due date, but you were 4 pounds.
Yeah, because your placenta had deteriorated in that last month, so I lost all the
all
nutrients.
the fat she had.
Yeah.
She lost because she was literally born like a little bag of skin holding some bones in it because you were so skinny. But you could tell that you had been bigger. But back 30 years ago, at the time I was pregnant with you, they had healthcare cuts. So I only had one ultrasound the entire pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
So they only found out about the placenta after you were born.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is like a hereditary thing or what, but going back to Tober's story, I have wondered if there was some kind of unknown trauma to him because of the bus accident. But then my other question was, when they saw that the blood flow was not proper in liquids, fluids, however, why did they not say, you're staying here today and you're having your baby as soon as possible? That's my question thinking back, because I'm thinking when you have all of those things adding up, I feel like the decision would have been call your family, get your birth partner here, get your people together. This is happening tonight.
I haven't even really thought about that because it wasn't like it had just started happening, and it wasn't happening at a quick enough rate for them to be like alarmed enough to want.
Yeah.
They didn't seem overly concerned about it yet.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're the professionals. But, looking back now.
Well, looking back, you think all the what ifs.
Think all the what ifs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also that came out 2 days before you were being induced anyways.
So it was more like a week.
Was it?
Yeah. They just, when I went in to see the doctor after the ultrasound, because it was the same day, she had wanted to move it up to the next day, and I had been like, okay, I'm not completely sure on that yet because, I have to figure out with my birthing partner, and then like my stepmom was supposed to come and stay a night with me in the hospital and then drive us home. She's the one who has the car seat. Now, like, I have to figure out plans, how to get here. I have my son this week. What am I going to do with him? So it wasn't just like, yeah, let's do this. It was everything needs to be set in motion before I can say yes. So I had been in communication with her like every hour for the rest of the day while I figured it out with everyone else so I could keep her updated. And then finally, everything was great. I got a phone call from the nurse with instructions on what to do for the next morning. I had to go get like the special sponge that you scrub yourself with. And yeah, so it was a whole thing, but it did happen quickly. It wasn't the day of, but.
And that's where, again, more of my guilt comes in. Why didn't I just step in and say, I'm going to do this with you?
Yeah. Yeah, because Sarah had her meeting. And we were also trying to plan around that, not just like my stepmom's work and stuff like that. So.
And had our relationship been in a different place, I feel like you would have been, Mommy, can you be here? Can you do this? You didn't ask, and I was at that point, I didn't want to just insert myself because you already had plans. Sarah was going to be your birth partner.
But I also
And I thought, you know what? She wants it this way. So who am I to overstep and be like, no, we got to. So looking back, that just adds more because I could have, I think, had I said, does this need to happen? And I'll be there. You most likely would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
Right? See? So.
Yeah. But
so now
it's
it's.
Also felt like I had done pretty much the whole pregnancy myself. I took myself to the appointments. I went through the appointments myself. If I had to be there for 3 hours, I was there for 3 hours. If I had to bus 2 hours and then 2 hours home, that's just what I did. I set up the nursery myself. I went to the store and bought most of the stuff myself. Like, I did the pregnancy myself. So for me, it was like, there is no one to ask because this is on me. So, yeah. That's why I didn't ask. It wasn't even like a thought.
And that's why I didn't.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Do you have certain feelings now that we are where we are where you wish you had been the one that was originally going in with her?
We actually talked about this recently, where I think we both agreed that no, because in that situation, being my mom and being like an emotional person, you might not have been able to handle things the way Sarah did.
She might be right. But I also feel like in that moment, like there have been moments in my life where I have kept myself in check and then lost it afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
but to be able to advocate in like an emergency situation and know what I would want and also be able to make the right call while you're being super emotional.
Yeah. I mean, like the call between who to pick, that would have been excruciating.
Yeah.
I'd hate that was on you. But at the same time, I'm like, who would I have picked?
Yeah. Right.
Like,
but Sarah and I had kind of discussed those situations. So she already knew how to advocate for me. She knew me well enough to know like what to do, but she also has a nursing background.
Yeah.
So she also would have been able to like hold it together.
Yeah.
I was able to turn off pretty well, I think, until I spoke with you on the phone.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I think like I was able to not let it show to Cass. And then once it actually came down to like calling you guys, that's where I was a little...
Yeah. I'd never heard you cry before.
I'm not I mean, I say this as I'm
Wow.
The
emotional.
thing is, you haven't really become like this much of an emotional person until Tober passed.
Yeah.
Really?
No, you're right. Because before Tober, I think I was a lot more cold.
I think because I'm your best friend, so I don't necessarily see you as like a cold person because like we love each other. I think
Ew.
I think it's more
Just don't reach out and hug her.
Yeah.
Never.
That's why she's over there. I think it's more so like you're only warm towards people you really truly care about and love. And I think because of your background, like nursing and psychology and everything, that's why you maybe come across more cold, is because that's your background and maybe the way you grew up. Your first instinct is to like
turn off
or be logical, be like scientific about things. It's not you're not leading with like emotion. So
let's be real, I didn't get enough breast milk as a baby.
you probably didn't.
I just realized something.
What?
She loves me.
Sarah?
She lets me hug her.
Facts.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
she lets
if I
Bailey
didn't
hug her.
love you, like I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're friends.
We're friends. So yeah, coming back to the question, I guess.
I mean, I say this sometimes on when certain things happen. Things happen for a reason. You might not know why in that moment, but it could be months, it could be weeks, months, years later where it's like, maybe because of this, that's why it happened that way. I think Sarah was there because she probably did handle it better than I would have.
But that's
Thank you.
like why.
And yeah, like that's, like I said, I feel horrible that you were the one in that position,
But I think she was the right person.
but you were probably the better person to be in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like to this day, I don't know how I drove myself to the hospital. But I do remember because I was at lunch with some work colleagues, all females. And I just told them the baby's coming. We should have pictures in like an hour. And we were getting into Trisha's car, or my friend's car.
Mhm.
And we got the call, and it was like, not what we expected. So again, good that somebody else was driving us back to work. And I just shut everything down and packed my stuff. And my other colleague said, "Are you sure you don't want me to drive you?" But my husband was away for work. And I thought, if you drive me, then I'm going to somehow have to get back to work to come and get my car. And I'll still be driving myself around.
Mhm.
At some point within the next 24 to 48 hours. So I need to somehow get myself there in my own car. So I remember getting in the car and talking to myself saying, okay, you are getting better at compartmentalizing things. So now this is the moment where you really have to put whatever you're thinking in a little part of your brain and just focus on the road until you get there, and then you can bring that part back out. Because you have to get there in one piece for your daughter. So I think that day I followed all the road rules to the T because I was so focused on getting there in one piece without being pulled over for speeding. So I get there, and it took forever to get a spot in the parking lot. I almost just ran out of the car, threw the keys at the one of the parking lot attendants, because there were several working that day, and just saying, "I don't give a shit where you park the car." Just drop these keys off at the hospital, maternity ward, whatever, do what you will. But I did get a spot. And I remember being in the elevator. There was one other woman. I think she worked at the hospital, but not as a medical profession. She had a cart with her, so she may have been delivering supplies. But I was doing deep breathing to keep my shit together, like very audible deep breathing. So at one point, she looked at me and said, "Are you going to be okay?" And I said, "No, I'm not, because it's not okay." So I got off at on the maternity floor. And I don't think she meant to get off there, but she got off with me. I think she probably thought, "Oh my God, is this woman gonna like pass out or something?" Because she was looking at me very strange. But I kind of just got off the elevator and left her standing there. And I had to ask for you 3 times because they couldn't hear me when I got to the counter. So they just told me what room, and I found it. And I will admit, I did not see Tober in your arms when I first walked in.
It's kind of the next question is, what was your thought process when you walked into that room and you saw her?
My focus was just giving her a hug, letting her know that I was there and that no matter what happened, we'd get through it. So I hugged her, and then I looked over and saw you and Cassandra's dad. So I hugged you both. I don't think Daddy and I had that long hug in like 25 years. So I could tell he was hurting because he doesn't normally hold on for that long. And then, of course, hugging Sarah, who's not a hugger. And then I looked back at you and I thought, how did the baby get there? I guess Tober had been there the whole time, but I was so focused on you. I honestly did not expect to see the baby. I mean, we all knew he was full term, but you just don't know what condition he was going to be in. But he was perfect. He was perfect.
Yeah, I think we've touched on this before, but a lot of times when people have stillborns, it's because their baby has been like passed inside of them for a while. So by the time they come out, they are already
Deteriorating.
yeah, I guess is a nice way to put it. But Tober wasn't at that point yet because he had only passed some time in the 2 hours before the C-section. So he still looked
Like a baby.
yeah, like a healthy, normal baby. Yeah.
Aside from his nose, that was a little funny.
Yeah, well, that's genetics.
When I first held him, I actually physically,
He's big.
and Sarah and I joked at one point, he's literally like the weight of a 10-pound sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
And it was like, God, we laughed that night. We laughed, we cried, we laughed, we cried again. But it's almost like we needed to have some kind of comic relief.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of them. 10 packs
Tea
sack
that
of
was
potato.
dropping that night. We'll get into that a little bit later,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Sarah and I also have like a pretty dark humor.
Yes.
And I think it shook you a little bit because you were like, guys, what? Like this? He's not
next-
even in the ground yet.
The next 25 hours is revelation too strong a word? I was tapping in and out all night, and I'm not talking tap dancing.
I mean, you were getting caught up on the last.
There was so much that
like
I
3 years worth of.
had not known about. And like I said, Cassandra and I used to be so close. Sometimes I thought, God, I need to be more of a mother to her and not like a best friend. Maybe this is wrong. And then, we kind of both shut down, so I did not know of a lot of things. And that night, we got Nana caught up.
Mm-hmm.
You heard some things.
That he did.
You heard some things.